This is Bob Byrnes, Mayor of the City of Marshall. I'm here with another update on where we're at with the COVID-19 coronavirus situation in the City of Marshall. As everyone knows, this is a serious situation all over the country and in the state. And in Marshall also, we are preparing for the situation also. I do want to thank the people that of Marshall. I think our compliance, cooperation, and everybody's help with the governor's stay-at-home order, which went into place midnight Friday night, has gone quite well. Of course, as we all know, this is not something that works with enforcement. This is something that will work with everybody's cooperation, and that, quite honestly, is what we've seen. We have had a lot of questions, understandable questions from people about when they need to leave for things that are essential, what businesses are open, what aren't, businesses are not open. The governor's guidance was really quite clear about defining which businesses could be open because they're defined as essential. Some of those are obvious, like grocery stores and gas stations, and some of those are less obvious, and some businesses that may be on the classified as essential have chosen not to be open for a variety of reasons, including safety of their own employees. But I will say that most of the businesses do have options. They have options for pickup and delivery. They have options for online. So during this time, yes, we have a stay-at-home order, but yes, we also do need to support our local retailers, our local businesses. There have been questions about other things as far as city operations, what's open, what's not open. The compost site, the tree dump is open. And again, with all these things that are open, we certainly want to maintain, the regular social distancing that we all know and are complying with. Our parks are open, our trails are open, Camden State Park is open. We have made the decision at this time not to fence off our playgrounds. I've been talking to a number of other cities, and some cities have fenced off their playgrounds, some haven't. Some that have seen kind of unintended consequences with that, and certainly enforcement of that has been an issue. I think what works well, at least for right now, is everyone's cooperation, which has worked in our stay-at-home notice, and I think it will work with our parks and our playgrounds. With that, Steve Meister is with me, as Marshall City Council member, but in this capacity is the Chief Medical Officer for Avera Marshall. Steve, I'll turn it to you.
Thank you, Bob. So the city is following the guidelines from the governor really well, and I appreciate it, as do all the healthcare providers at Avera Marshall. We are here for you. We are still here to take care of you. If you have questions or think you have symptoms consistent with COVID-19, a respiratory type infection, please don't just show up at the hospital. We have split our clinics into kind of a well side and a sick side. The sick side is the former urgent care. Call, though, if you have a respiratory type illness, call 877-AT-AVERA. That's 877-AT-AVERA. Get the screen, then come through. And we, again, thank the population within earshot for staying home when they're sick. That's the best way to avoid spreading the illness. Like we've said from the beginning, 80% who acquire COVID-19 are going to be just fine. They're going to have symptoms consistent with a cold or low-grade influenza-like illness with a fever and achiness. But it's the 20% who are going to get really sick, and of that, 5% who really need hospitalization and care. We're there for you. We are anticipating we're going to get a little busier here in the next few weeks. We're ready for that and getting more ready every day. But the best thing that we can tell you to do now is to, A, stay calm. With the parks being open, it's been refreshing for me to see on my way to and from work, people out walking with their families, walking their dogs, running, getting exercise. That's really a good thing. That helps us stay healthy, keeps us refreshed and rejuvenated and energized. just remain with your social distancing of at least 6 feet. This is hard for our kids. We want our kids to go out and play and have a good time, but the governor and the Minnesota Department of Health and the Centers for Disease Control recommend stay in your family groups if you can. If the kids start coalescing, it's hard to keep the virus in check. So wash your hands, cover your cough, stay at home if you're sick, don't go out, and remember to call 877-ADA-VERA if you do feel like you are catching something or have a respiratory type infection. As people have probably seen with the Minnesota Department of Health website, there is now a case in Lincoln County, there's a case in Lyon County. We knew it would come, it was just a matter of when. My guess is, common things be common, this virus is here, it's going to stay for a while, so just be smart. Don't fear somebody. The one thing that's kind of been bothering me a little bit is that people who find that they have COVID sometimes feel ostracized. I've seen cases of that across the country, none in Marshall or Lyon County, thank goodness. Let's not be that group. Let's not be that community. It's a sickness. It doesn't pick on any particular race, gender, creed, nationality. It is a non-discriminate infection agent, and it is an equal opportunity infection agent. So anybody can get it, and so everybody is equally at risk of it, and so everybody is equally responsible for keeping social distancing, washing their hands for 20 seconds, and keeping 6 feet apart. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Steve. And then finally, I have just a few more things. We are taping this on Tuesday, March 31st at about 3:30 in the afternoon. And as we've said in the past, tomorrow it could be different than it is today. But this is our situation as it is today. As it is the last day of March, we're coming into April. That is a heightened time for severe weather. So the city operations, continue on a variety of fronts, including monitoring the severe weather, and we are prepared if we should encounter severe weather, including heavy rains. We are at a very high moisture level in our soils and our rivers, so that is the anticipated rainfall is something that we watch very closely. And tomorrow is April 1st, which is Census Day. Every decade there is a census in the United States, and I would really encourage everybody to fully participate in the census. It's either online or by the paper or by phone. There's multiple options. It's quite important. As we know, we'll get through this event, this recovery, having accurate numbers so that whatever possible assistance is available will be determined by the results of the census. So I would strongly urge everyone to participate in the census. And if people have questions, certainly contact the City of Marshall. That number is on the screen. If there's medical questions, contact Avera. If there's any law enforcement questions, of course, contact the Law Enforcement Center. Once again, this is Bob Byrnes, Mayor of the City of Marshall.